Hello, middle of May, Sunday night, Fox 6 Sports Blitz. Thanks for tuning in. You're saying to yourself, I recognize Tim Van Born. I recognize Brandon Cruz. That's not Lily Zhao. We have a special guest in the studio with us tonight. Lily will be back again next week, so we're all good to go. Here's what you can expect. We talk Calder Cup playoffs with the Admirals captain, Kevin Gravel. A Brewers fan chirps with the ump to make us say what? The Crew hitting the road, continuing to hold on to the division lead in the National League Central, and the Packers release their 2024 schedule. Plus, we do an Irish dance for this week's High School Hot Shots. Lots to stick around for tonight, but we lead it off with a live in-studio important guest, kind of up against curfew, Kevin Gravel. You got a hockey game tomorrow night. Thanks for coming in tonight. You about ready to play a game? It's been a while.
Yeah, no, excited. Thanks for having me first off. But yeah, ready to go. It's been a little bit since game one to game two. So I can speak for everyone when we say we're pretty eager to get going here tomorrow.
I can imagine that. Okay, the Admirals are in the second round of the Calder Cup playoffs. If you're just kind of catching up with things, they won the first round after being down 2 games to none. You had to rally and come back and do it. You've lost the first game of this series against the Grand Rapids Griffins. You got to have a flair for the dramatic or something here? You guys are making it a little tough on yourselves.
Got to sell tickets.
That worked in the first round for sure,
yeah.
Coming back for those 3 home games. Now you're at home, though, and I assume while you're saying you want to sell tickets, you'd like to go to Grand Rapids, because this is a 2-2-1 series. You'd like to go to Grand Rapids even, if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you want to win the games at home, right? That's why you play all year long and so hard for home ice advantage. You know, they stole one from us there, so it's on us to kind of come back tomorrow, even the series, and then we got to go steal home ice back in Grand Rapids. So, you know, it is a series. We lost the first game, but we need to lose 3 to be done. And you know, unfortunately, we did it last series as well. But you know, we can kind of draw on that and you know, use that as experience, and hopefully we don't get down to the point we were at last series if we can bounce back tomorrow night here.
We've been watching hockey right on through with these guys, including a long run last year.
Yeah, I mean, when you have these situations where you come back from 2 games to none and win the last 3 against Texas, how do you bring that to this series, or is it completely different because it's a different team and it's a different situation? Yeah,
I think honestly, playoffs as a whole, I think it's game by game. You know, I think it's really key to just kind of stay middle of the road, even keel. Whether we were up against Texas 2-0 or down 2-0 to Texas, you kind of try to approach the next day the same no matter what. You win a game, you enjoy it that night. The next morning, you know, it's a new day. Kind of go about your business. You lose the game, same thing. You know, you kind of chew on it for a bit, and the next day it's all right. How do we, you know, fix our mistakes? How do we move on from here? So obviously, you know, we're feeling good after you beat Texas. We come back, you know, down 0-2, which is a very hard thing to do, and you know, give our guys a lot of credit for kind of scratching and clawing our way back into that series. But then you move on to Grand Rapids, which is a completely different series. You know, completely different everything. You know, 5-game series is very emotional. You play the same team in a row 5 times. You know, there's a lot of just highs and lows that come with it, and then you got to kind of park that and get ready to go again against a new team. Granted, the team we've played quite a bit this year, a team we're very comfortable with and familiar with, but it is a new series and a new team, and you kind of got to park the bus and reset and just get back, you know, back to being kind of neutral and just ready to go again.
One of your teammates was saying on Friday that maybe you guys didn't come out with the energy you had, especially in Game 5. How do you bring that energy back with such a long layoff between Game 1, which was Wednesday, and Game 2 on Monday?
Yeah, I think it might have been forced a little bit. Obviously, down 0-2 to Texas, but those last 3 games, we had a lot of desperation, a lot of urgency to our game. Obviously, your season's on the line, right? So you need to win the game, and naturally, you're going to play with that desperation. And maybe it's a little bit of human nature. You come into a clean slate, 0-0, that you don't necessarily have that same, you know, just right from the start, I guess, desperation we use again. You want it, obviously. You know, you're at your best when you have that urgency and that desperation. But, you know, we were coming off a very emotional high, you know, a roller coaster of a series. You know, I think it was only natural to kind of maybe take a deep breath, as unfortunate as it was, because we ended up losing that game. But you know, now we got to find a way to ramp it back up. You know, we're down 0-1. We don't want to go down 0-2. So, you know, we've been doing it all year. You know, we've responded well all year. You know, we've got a great group of guys who really believe in each other and care for each other. So, like I said, it's just on us to kind of revamp now and find that emotion and find that urgency and bring it again tomorrow night.
Kevin, the Griffins might be watching this in their hotel room. They might be streaming it on Fox Local. Who knows? So we don't want you to give away the secrets, okay? But in the previous series, you guys were very physical when it came back to Milwaukee. There were a lot of penalties in that first period, and you guys really threw the caution at it out there. What type of game plan? This isn't backs against the wall yet, but what type of game plan are you taking into the remainder of this series?
Yeah, I think kind of that mentality. That's when teams are at their best. Playoffs is it's a grind. It's very hard to come through, and it's hard to show up every day and do that, and that's why it's, so fun and why it feels so good when you do win. It is very hard, and the teams just continue to get better and better as you advance. And, the teams that have that desperation, have that urgency, but at the same time are able to kind of keep their emotions in check are the teams that go on runs and do special things. So, Grand Rapids is a great team. We've played them all year long. I think the record against each other was pretty even, if not exactly even. So it's going to be a battle. We expected that coming into it. I'm sure they expected the same thing. It's probably going to be a long series. So it's going to be a fun one, and then it's going to be a grind, and it's just on guys, continuing to show up and continue to dig in and do their work and just, kind of enjoy the grind.
When you are in this grind, is there any fun being had, or is that later? Like, you know what I mean? Because you're working so hard, everything matters or is magnified. Are you able to have fun in the moment, or is it something later?
Yeah, I think it's both. I think you can have fun with the grind. As competitive athletes and competitive people, you want to play in big moments, and you want to play when games are important and when games matter. You grind through 72 games throughout the year. Some games maybe, don't feel as fun to play in others, but you're looking to get to this point where we're at right now and play in the playoffs where every game is so important, every game is so big. We've been playing here since early October now to get to this point, and so much has gone into it. Guys have grown so much together as a team and individually. So you almost at this point want to succeed just for your teammates more than yourself, because you know how hard they worked throughout the year and what they've done throughout the year to get to this point. So. To answer your question, it is a grind, but I think that's where you can really dig in and enjoy the grind and enjoy how hard it is. And then if you do come out on the other side of this still standing, that's kind of why it is so coveted and means so much, is because of how hard it is to get there. So obviously another fun part of it is that side of it, but you enjoy the grind while you're in it. You be where your feet are and kind of do what you got to do there, and then if you come out on top is when you can really have your fun.
Kind of to jump off that, Kevin, you're from the Upper Peninsula. A lot of your players are from Canada or Europe or Russia. You're playing hockey now when it's 70 degrees outside. I mean, it's playoff heights, springtime hockey. You've been at various levels. You've been in the NHL. What's it like to just play springtime hockey as a lifelong guy in this sport?
Yeah, that's the best time, because that's when the playoffs roll around. So that's the goal. You go into any meeting at the beginning of the year for any team you're on, whether it's in this league or the NHL. First thing I say is you want to be playing in June, because that means you're one of the last 2 teams standing or one of the last 4 teams standing, what have you. So this is the fun time. You wake up in the morning and it's sunny out, it's nice out. It's really hard to have a bad day when the weather's nice like this, right? So, you don't have to get up and brush your car off in the morning or anything like that. So you can put the flip flops on, the shorts on, and it's fun. Life's good in the summer. Everything is, everyone's feeling good, everyone's happy. So rink is fun. Rink is a fun spot to be, and to be one of these last teams going here is obviously where we want to be right now. But work's not done quite yet.
Got to get it to June to make that happen. Got to win some games here to get to June.
And you don't have to worry about a razor for a little while still, right?
Also true. Yeah.
No, mine's kind of pathetic for where I'm at in my life and my career. I got guys who are 19, 20 years old who are kind of taking me to the cleaner with my playoff beard, but hopefully we play longer enough where it'll be a little bit more patchy and more disgusting. So
I'm the captain. Do as I say, or something like that. Not as I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff, and I know you've had great fan support, so hopefully that carries over Monday and right on through for these guys. Coming up, the Admirals and the Griffins, Monday night downtown. A couple of coaching moves elsewhere that we want to tell you about this week. UW Green Bay basketball hiring radio host Doug Gottlieb, so he'll take over the program. He will bring his radio experience with him. No coaching experience, though. He's going to keep doing the radio show. Should be interesting to see up there. Also, 13 years into his coaching career, Racine native Jesse March taking the reins of the Canadian national team. We're talking soccer. March has led clubs in MLS and the Premier League. His last stop was with Leeds in England. His first test coming up next month. So the reigning Cup champion Argentina, welcome to it, Jesse March. Long way from Racine, Wisconsin. We're not a long way from more excitement coming up on the Fox 6 Sports Blitz right around the corner. Stay with us.
The Do I vote? I don't even know if I vote for her.
You really want to ask that question out of the gate?
I just like getting people's attention with something.
My significant other think he's sexy, so.
Wow. That was interesting. Was that Taylor Swift?
That's Brewers fans. Welcome to the Ump Show at American Family Field. Obviously looked like a strike to some, but then the next pitch, Brian Reynolds hits for a home run.
No better game for second guessing.
No, and when they isolate that sound, you really understand what the ump might be hearing the whole time. The Brewers, though, going to Houston, lose 2 out of 3. Still 2 games up in the division. Is this kind of a wake-up call as to where they are? Or is it just another series because here we are still in May?
You know, Houston's not doing real well this year. They look pretty good this weekend, if you ask me. They got some big bats and they can swing it, and the Brewers didn't get what they've been getting. For instance, Colin Ray today, not a real strong outing, and he had them behind 4-1 before you're out of the first inning. That's a recipe for trouble. They haven't been doing that this season, and that kind of came up to bite them, I think. You win, you have a decent week, but you lose 2 out of 3 this weekend.
They faced Josh Hader on Friday. He gets his first save against the Brewers. But in that trade for him, the Brewers received Robert Gasser, who has been very good in 2 starts. He didn't pitch against the Astros this weekend. But what is he showing you now that he's been called up?
He's not a real big guy, but he is a battler. There's no question about it. And he waited to get his call up to the major leagues, and you wondered if there was something going on there. And Gasser just kind of channeled it once he got here. He's not a big strikeout guy. At least it doesn't look that way yet. But talking to him after Wednesday's start, you can tell he feels pretty confident about what he can do at the major league level, and he has been getting away. The first game he was basically unhittable, and I know talking to somebody out at the ballpark the other day, he said he's really, really good against left-handers, so watch that today. And he was really good against left-handers, but you can tell the scouting report, the Pirates knew it was coming too, so they were a little different the second time he pitched in the bigs.
There's been a lot of hype around him. Does he feel like he belongs, or is he still kind of sensing himself when you talk to him?
I think you'd say that he feels like he belongs, but you know, it can flip on you pretty quickly in this game. Everybody knows that. So I would say that the Brewers have to be very happy with Gasser so far, and probably are okay with the timing they've employed with him in terms of when to wait and bring him up.
They have to be happy, too, with the way Trevor McGill has been pitching. Obviously, with Devin Williams out, they've been trying to find a closer. It looks like he may have locked up that role at least until Williams gets back.
I'm thinking that Pat Murphy's had a lot of confidence with him all year. Remember, at the beginning of the year, he was out because he had the concussion, because he faded and fainted at a phone store, and so he was out of time. And the Brewers, I thought, were kind of piecemealing it a little bit. It was Piamps, it was Uribe, who's in the minors now. I think, as we go back to hindsight, Murphy may have wanted McGill all along. But now that McGill is back, he's been very confident in him in that role, and the big right-hander can throw it hard, and he's been doing a pretty good job.
One thing we saw in today, the on-base streak from William Contreras. But last weekend we talked about him being an MVP candidate. He's still got to be in that conversation a week later.
One of the best players in the league so far to this point in the Major League season. You saw the Brewers' record there. Nobody's more responsible for that than William Contreras. As you said, on base all the time, plays all the time. Real competitor. He had a 13-pitch at bat in Saturday's game, and then he cracks the home run to end it off.
It was the best at bat of the season so far, for sure. Let's switch gears now to the Packers. It's always anticipated. I love how the NFL can make anything a story, a show, something that people are talking about. The schedule comes out this week. We knew the teams, we just didn't know when, where. What do you see right now when you just look at it?
It's funny. The Packers have one of the toughest schedules in the league. I believe it's the 4th toughest based on records from this past season. But when you look at it on paper or on the screen, or however you look at schedules these days, it does not look that daunting. Travel-wise, it looks like it's okay. You don't think that there are that many huge games that really scare you. The toughest stretch is the tail end of the stretch. You know, you're getting into December there. You started December. That's where your toughest games are going to be.
And they do have another Thanksgiving game this year. This time it's at home. What does that do for a team? Because at that point of the year, you're kind of looking for longer stretches, a little more breaks, and they're not getting it.
It's a real rarity for them to play at home. Detroit is their usual road foe in Thanksgiving games, and that's such a short trip that's almost like a home game, to be honest with you. It's such an easy one with a quick flight across. So I think that's actually a better game, that 11:30 kick on Thanksgiving, than this nighttime game will be. So it'll be interesting to see if they think that is to their advantage at all. I know they like Lambeau Field games. They don't have many Lambeau Field games in December, so they'll take this in late November.
And when you look at, to me, a schedule being released, the one thing that always has to stand out is where the bye falls, because you never know about injuries, you never know about long stretches of having to play games in the front or back end of the schedule. This is kind of right in the middle. What do you think?
Right in the middle. Obviously, you're going to get some time off from that first game when you play the Eagles, and then you come back and you have a little bit of time to get ready for that home opener. There you see that bye in the middle of November. You can't quarrel too much about it as far as I'm concerned. If it was late, you'd be arguing one way. If it was early, you'd be arguing the same. To me, middle of November, you think that's okay. You've got the 3 divisional games with gold package games. All the Milwaukee season ticket holders are going to be able to see those games. It's an unusual schedule, particularly with that start in Brazil.
I guess the last thing, is there any game that you looked at and go, okay, I'm going to circle this and kind of see where they're standing at that point, and could that be the critical game moving forward?
The Niners. Anytime you play the Niners, it has to be that game that I think you circle and you say that's the one that it's the litmus test more than anything.
And that's the Sunday before Thanksgiving, so that will be at Lambeau Field.
Jammed into that stretch, late November, early December.
That's right. We'll see how that goes. All right. Well, coming up next, we'll be dancing with our high school hotshots. Stay with us. Well, thanks for staying up with us tonight. A family afternoon at Irish Fest introduced her to a new dance style. At first, it was the music and costumes, but soon the choreography and the competition became her passion. Here's this week's high school hotshot.
Hi, my name is Lauren Anderson. I'm a senior at Homestead High School, and I'm an Irish dancer at the Beglin Academy of Irish Dance. I've been dancing since I was about 2. I've done ballet and tap in California and in Wisconsin. And so I think Irish dance has always been something that kind of like spoke to me as a dancer. Also, I think the competitive nature of Irish dance was really exciting to me. I saw myself being able to travel and being able to compete at a higher level than I would have been. We actually compete on stage with 2 other dancers who have completely different choreography and come from a different school. Most recently, I got second in the Midwest in the Mid-America Oireachtas Championships, which is our regional competition. And then I've also qualified 5 times for the World Championships, and I've gotten to travel to Scotland, Ireland, Canada for those competitions. I got to also dance with the High Kings for St. Patrick's Day, which was really exciting. It kind of mixed my passion for like listening to music and kind of that whole cultural aspect of Irish dance. I also play violin and piano, which are other performance aspects that I like to do. Dancers compete all across the globe, but since we have this shared passion, it kind of connects us over one certain thing. I actually met my college roommate through dance. We competed against each other, and so I think we kind of connected over that shared passion for dance. I'm going to Madison. I'm planning to major in biomedical engineering. I've always been a big math and science person. Most recently, I got to do a AP research project where I kind of combined my interests of dance and math and science. I focused on alterations in a dance shoe that can redistribute pressures on dancers' feet with the goal of hopefully reducing stress injuries that dancers are very prone to. I did work on a prototype that I ended up testing. I don't know if it'll really go anywhere past that, but it was really cool to see kind of it develop into a physical product that I was able to test. My name is Lauren Anderson. I'm a senior at Homestead High School, and I'm an Irish dancer that took second place at the Mid-America Regional Championships. And I am this week's FOX6 High School Hotshot.
Well, Lauren may be hanging up her Gilhees and heavies after graduation, but she does plan to return to Beglin Academy to help coach. She also thinks triathlon racing could be her next competitive outlet. We'll be right back.
All right, coming up, let's continue their road trip on to South Florida, then up to Boston.
And then the Admirals don't have much time off after Monday. They play at home Monday, then on the road Wednesday and Friday with a hope to come back for Game 5 on Sunday.
Packers get into their OTAs this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Tuesday is the media availability day, so we'll be up there for you to start the first week of OTA coverage. Here we go. Yeah, football, hockey, baseball, it's all good. Thanks to Kevin Gravel of the Admirals for joining us, and you too.